Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. We are here at the Amazing Owl Studio. Thank you. Shout out to Jason Hill and Stephanie for inviting us in to promote TEDx Boca Raton, which is happening Saturday, May 2nd at the Boca Raton Innovation Campus. At 3 o'clock is when the speakers start. And check-in is at 1:30. So there's going to be networking. There's going to be food and drink. There's going to be so many people networking and meeting each other. And guess what? We have one of here. We're going to have a couple of our speakers here, but we have Dr. Kevin Cox, who is going to be talking on our TEDx Boca Raton stage. And then his talk is going to be published to 44 million viewers on the TEDx channel. How does that feel, Kevin?
Oh, it feels exciting. I'm really looking forward to doing it. There's been so much going on recently in South Florida. I think it's a really great time for South Florida, and it's perfect for you to host an event like this, especially in my world. As you know, I live in startups world, for anybody who doesn't know me, with all these founders and new businesses, a lot in AI, but also biotechnology, climate tech, all sorts of startups. We have a really comprehensive accelerator program at Florida Atlantic University. We've just gotten past some of our signature events, our pitch competitions, our Maverick Innovation Awards, and then last week was Emerge Americas. So
You've been very, very busy.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's the perfect time to capitalize on all the kind of the frenzy of South Florida. It's a great startup environment, great business environment, and a great opportunity to share some wisdom from the speakers to all the guests that are going to be attending TEDx Boca this weekend. It's great.
Yeah, so don't miss it. Come down and see us. And we also have here Lana Fink, who is kind enough to volunteer her time to help coach our TEDx speakers. So we are so excited to have Lana. She also has been coaching TEDx Miramar, and I have to give the history here. So in 2018, Cece Aspute spoke on our stage. She's amazing. Then she spoke on another TEDx stage. Then she became a TEDx organizer for TEDx Miramar. And that's how I met Lana, through Cece. And shout out to Cece and TEDx Miramar. It's an amazing community. And Lana has been coaching a lot of TEDx speakers now. So Lana, tell us a little bit about coaching TEDx speakers. And you're going to be working with Dr. Kevin Cox here too, or you have been.
Yes, thank you so much. I will tell you that for me, coaching TEDx speakers is amazing because I'm able to grab their talk and understand what they're trying to say and then get it down to 10 to 12 minutes. And it's
a formula, right?
It is a formula because everyone wants to tell their stories and everything else. And it's like, okay, well, what's the main theme? And then how can we tie it throughout? And that's really what I love doing. And I can't wait to see Kevin on stage because I know he's going to be amazing. And just honestly, it's a wonderful experience.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. So the cool thing about Kevin is he's been telling us that he has been so busy, and we've kind of had a really short runway this year. And then we had a little practice session and he blew us away. His talk is going to be amazing. You're not going to want to miss it. And tell us, Kevin, what's going on at FAU with the whole, I don't want to say restructuring, but your title and what's under and what different divisions. It's really exciting.
Yeah, so really, so there's a little bit of history that's relevant. The Adams Center for Entrepreneurship at the Florida Atlantic University was founded actually in 2001, which amongst universities, that was actually pretty early. And then over time, we really kind of built a robust ecosystem around that, including our accelerator, the Runway. And just this year, as we had these different components, there's so many different activities. We have the Center for Entrepreneurship, the Accelerator Program, WAVE Program,
the Shrimp Tank Podcast,
Veterans Program. It's all great, but it had become a little bit kind of disjointed, difficult to navigate. Everything was there for the founders, but it could be a little bit overwhelming or confusing. So what we've taken major strides to do this year is move the accelerator program back under the College of Business, where it originally stemmed out from. And then for clarity and to simplify things and make everything really founder friendly, we launched the Entrepreneurship Institute. Wow. So that's one overarching brand. And then under that is all of our resources for founders, our programs, our educational seminars, our podcasts, and everything really resides within the Entrepreneurship Institute. And that's been a transformational change because it enabled us to make a couple other changes that make the program really flexible and dynamic. We've eliminated timelines so people can progress based on however they progress. Some of these founders move really fast. And
Plus,
we-
it's a rolling, right? It's
Yeah.
a rolling process
So
where they
that's the
can
second part of that,
apply. Yeah.
right? Is they can apply at any time for the first time ever. We used to take 2 cohorts a year, but then we'd find people that really needed help in the interim. So between rolling admissions, eliminating timelines, and reorganizing the structure, we've really simplified things. So nowadays, if you're a founder, whether you're a student, a veteran from the community, faculty, or anyone else, we have a universal application, just one. Very simple. Send everybody this, and we analyze that application and we send that founder to the most appropriate resource for them. They don't have to figure it out on their own anymore. They don't have to meet with me. Fill out the application. We'll tell you where to go and where to be. And that really seems to be working because the first component of that program is this entrepreneurship boot camp, which I founded way back in 2012 or 2014. It's really evolved over the years, but it was always offered every fall. And then we usually had a smaller group in the spring. This spring, we had over 100 people in there, and we've had so much demand from the rolling applications for the first time ever. In just a couple of weeks, we're having to launch the first ever summer entrepreneurship boot camp at Florida
Wow.
Atlantic University.
That's a good sign, a really good sign.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, aside from, I like to play a little golf and see if I can make it to the beach in the summer. In terms of
A little family time.
yeah, but in terms of a signal about the programs, it's an exceptional one. And I'm really glad to add that program for folks who, it might be more convenient in the summer. So if they need it, we'll do it.
Yeah, that's so cool. And FAU, we actually started our first TEDx for Eric and I, who is my partner with TEDx Boca Raton. We're both the organizers. We started at FAU, and FAU is, oh my gosh, the theater there is amazing. You've been an amazing partner over the years. And a Tech Runway. Oh, well, now it's the Runway. I don't want to say Tech Runway. Runway, everyone, for the incubator. And we actually hosted a couple of VIP parties there too. So it was amazing. So tell us how a little bit for those, because I know you're going to be speaking about entrepreneurship and founders. Tell us a little bit about the Runway and how it works, because I know that Eric had mentored there for many years and there's mentor opportunities. So for people that don't know about the incubator, the Runway and the incubator program, I mean, it is like a co-working space. It's just like a really cool modern vibe to it. And tell us about it.
Yeah. So as we moved back into the College of Business, we're still working on upgrading and reorganizing a little bit of the space, but the program itself is really robust, right?
And the mentors are volunteers, right?
Yeah, they are. And that's one of the most important, arguably the most component to the program. So now the way it's structured into 3 pieces, there's the incubate, which is really, I just have an idea, or maybe I don't even have an idea, but I'm interested in entrepreneurship. The validate phase of the accelerator, that's for customer development. That's when you formally form the business, you incorporate, and hopefully you build a prototype. And then there's the final stage, which is accelerate. And that's really designed to accelerate growth and go to market. But there's opportunities to get involved for anyone who's interested in any way they'd want to. So we're always looking for speakers, but yes, mentors to work directly with the companies, community partners, sponsors, donors, any of those kind of things. If you want to get involved and you have experience, you're a founder yourself, or you specialize in a field that a founder might need to know more about, whether that's intellectual property law, human resource management, digital marketing, we could absolutely use you, and we'd love for you to be involved in our programs. Under the new president at Florida Atlantic, that's a major push, is to bring more people from South Florida, Boca Raton, the surrounding areas, onto our beautiful campus to see all the activity that's taking place across Florida Atlantic University because it's a lot.
It is a lot and it is beautiful. And think about the institutional knowledge that you personally have just from having worked with how many thousands of students and entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah, I've worked with more than 1,000 startups over the past decade.
Yeah.
Across every, stage, sector, industry, you could imagine. So, and I've got some great success stories, and I've got a lot of other stories too that can help people learn from, right? So just a lot of examples, which is really helpful in the teaching. I think the students and the founders alike appreciate when, rather than giving them a textbook or a vocabulary sheet and stuff we don't need with AI, I can say, well, let me tell you a little story about somebody who tried something very similar to what you have in mind.
Yes.
And that can be really resonate with the people that are trying to listen and learn and hopefully avoid making the same mistakes that maybe somebody else did.
Yeah. And that's why I feel so lucky that you're going to be speaking at TEDx Boca Raton and taking years, 10 years, over 10 years of working with founders and bottling it up in a 10-minute talk.
Yeah.
And it's a really good talk. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that I get to cover everything, but if you're not a founder and you're thinking about going to TEDx, the speakers are really diverse. And even what I'm talking about, I draw from my experience with founders and some of the mistakes I've seen them make, but how that can apply to really everybody in even a corporate setting or a home setting, or kind of drawing conclusions beyond the immediate audience of founders. That way it's relevant to the whole audience, right? It's not just going to be business owners and founders in there. So hopefully I deliver on those promises and leave everybody with at least a couple insights. It's a pretty short talk. So,
Yes. No, you are definitely bottling it up, which brings me to Lana. So for those people that are out there listening, and even for Kevin coming in the home stretch now in the last couple days now is mentally prepping and also practicing, what are some tips that you would give to some people that either want to get on the TED stage or are ready to get on the TED stage and coming in the home stretch? Two separate questions.
Well, the first one is going to be always think of the audience, right? So the question is, what's in it for me as I'm sitting there listening to whoever it is on stage?
Which, by the way, Lana just gave her TED Talk.
I gave my TED Talk about a month ago.
Yeah.
On the TEDx Miramar stage.
Hasn't published yet, but be on the lookout.
It's coming.
It's coming.
And I will tell you, for me, what my TEDx talk was about, it was my late age diagnosis with ADHD and how it impacted me in my life. And if I would have known earlier, then maybe things would have been a little bit easier to manage. So it was a great thing. And unfortunately, women and girls are underdiagnosed. So that's also addressed in the talk. It's a very short 10-minute talk. So there's not a lot of things to go and talk about. I will tell you though, Kevin, I know you talk about the entrepreneurship and stuff in South Florida. Your talk is going to go worldwide. So this is why it's so essential that many people throughout the world are going to see it. And they're going to be able to also resonate with your stories, because each one of us has a story to share, right? And especially when you can share some of those maybe not so great things, they can avoid those pitfalls, like you said. I absolutely love that. And I'm gonna ask you again, Cindy. What was the second question?
Oh, just in the home stretch. Like, what are some
in the home
things
stretch
to like mentally prepare? I know there's little tips like you can practice in front of the mirror, record your talk. I know with you had the little earbuds in your ears and listen to your talk, right?
I did, yes. For me, I typically don't memorize talks. I like to speak from my hip.
Same.
And so my mentor said to me, and how are you going to do this? Because it's going to be a huge challenge for you. And so it took several hours of, standing in front of a mirror, recording my talk, watching my hand gestures, walking back and forth to make sure I was taking up the space. But one of the things I just want to say is be yourself. Don't worry about perfection. Honestly, everyone's going to relate to you as you, and not so much.
Kevin's a natural too. You're used
Exactly.
to being on stages and in front of large crowds, so that's not a problem.
Yes. And I had absolutely zero fear standing up there. And 6 months ago, Cindy knows, she was there. I was introducing my student youth, I think Heather's son, and my voice was shaking. So in 6 months, I was able to change my mindset and say, no, if this opportunity is here, then someone needs to hear my message. That's what you have to think about, is the audience and what they need to hear from you. So.
Yes. No, it's true. And you went through Toastmasters too. Maybe because that's another little tip for some speakers people who want to be speakers, because there's that expression that some people are more afraid of speaking than death, right?
Yes, absolutely. So the crazy start of my story is 5 years ago, I froze on Zoom during COVID, 300 people online. I'm delivering a leadership presentation and I'm watching Kevin, the sweat dripped on my face. You imagine, right?
It's tough.
After 27 years in corporate America, you would have thought I would be okay with this. And I obviously wasn't. And I said I was never going to be in public speaking or in leadership. And then as Cindy said, I was gifted a free Toastmasters International membership. And through Toastmasters International and also through Udly, the AI speaking platform, I was able to completely transform the way that I understand public speaking, because you don't have to fear it. For me, it was the fear of not being perfect. And there are things that I say so, I say, and I do a lot of sentences that should have a period. I know this, but it also makes me.
I do too.
It also makes me relatable with the audiences.
Right.
And that's what I think is more important than being perfect. And so for me, yes, Toastmasters International gave me the opportunity to step into leadership, and also now own my own coaching company, really focused on public speaking, which is crazy when you think about it, because going from, like you said, I think it's the second most biggest fear of everyone. It's death and then public speaking. And it's like, well, a lot of people have it.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
And these days, I have to say, like with so many companies downsizing, right? Because, well, not necessarily because of AI, but a lot of it has to do with AI. Like people are getting let go, and more people need to focus on their personal brands and getting on stages and sharing their thought leadership. And Kevin, how about some tips from you? I know you're probably, like you said, a little more organic with your practicing, but tell us about like some tips for people that might want to get into speaking or on stages, because you went from Emerge to this to that, like all of these different things that you were on stages and talking. And did you ever have an issue or a fear, or is it just practice makes perfect?
Yeah, that's what I would tell people who want to try their hand at it or get into it. It's like you just kind of got to start. Practice, in the mirror or in other places, that's fine, but that's only going to go so far, right? In terms of gaining actual experience speaking in front of an audience, you've got to do it live. You got to do it in real time, and you should take every opportunity you're provided to do that, right? You're always kind of pitching, selling, whether it's a one person or a huge audience, but that's what helps the most, right? I think about when I first started teaching college courses as an adjunct, I was 23, and like, oh, those lectures, and for some reason they have me teaching microeconomics and macroeconomics, which
some of my favorites, not.
I mean, I'm barely qualified to do in the first place, and certainly not confident. I was the same age as most of my students at that time.
Wow.
Like, they must have been terrible, but in retrospect, they got better. They got a little bit better. They got better over time. And then I got into my actual career teaching what I should have been teaching, that I knew considerably more amount, and kind of over the years was really able to hone that. And then once you do that, then you can really delve into like, okay, what you can do this. What are you best at? What is your style? Right. So in the classroom, I certainly have a style. There's some students out there that I know are familiar with it. And most of them seem to enjoy it. Some of them really love it. It's a little bit different, but it is not staged. It is not planned. It is quite a bit looser. We try to stitch in some jokes, have some fun, tell some stories, and make it for a dynamic classroom experience, right? Otherwise, the students will just be looking stuff up on AI, right? I'm there, they're there. Let's make this thing worthwhile. Let's have a little fun. Sometimes in my classes, people say like, man, that's kind of a fun class. And I'll say to them, if it wasn't, I wouldn't be wanting to do it. So I like to have a good time too, and have kind of certainly a unique approach to a university class. But I hope you can get away with that in entrepreneurship. It seems to be working pretty well so
I
far.
love it. You have the interactive podcast for Shrimp Tank there that is actually a classroom. So you have Q&A. Tell us a little bit about that because that's really cool.
Yeah, that's fun. It's a unique format. We do it live on campus. We bring one local business owner into the Shrimp Tank podcast every single week. And then we have our entry level entrepreneurship course students sit in on there, but not just sit in, right? We fully integrated them into the show. We do a little game at the beginning, kind of like a game show. I usually lose for some reason. I think it's a scam, but it's fun, and the students get to design that. But not only that, the final segment, they can come up and ask the guests anything they like. So it's an opportunity for them to speak live, to get insights from a business owner. It's totally unique. And then by the time we get to the end of the semester, we've had a dozen successful business owners up in front of that class, which again, it's an entry-level entrepreneurship class. It's not too rigorous. I can get through the course content and integrate the podcast and kind of relate them to one another. So it's a very unique thing, and it's just been a really successful and again unique experience. We try to do things in the area of entrepreneurship at Florida Atlantic that not everybody else is doing. Right?
It is like if I was a student, I would love to be in that class because you've had so many incredible entrepreneurs come in and share their stories.
Oh yeah, and then the students get interested in the past episodes, which they can access. And I mean, if they want, they can go crazy. There's over 360 hours of episodes.
So cool.
Most of them don't do that, but where I will send them and something they do engage in is if they're interested in a particular sector or industry. I'm saying, well, yeah, we've had a few people from that industry on the show. Go listen to the episodes. They'll do that. And then they'll come back and they'll say, hey, like, are you still in contact with these people? Yeah, that's the point of the show.
Yes.
I can introduce a student to a business owner. One thing leads to another. You get internships, you get jobs. So there's a functional purpose behind that podcast too.
Yeah.
It's not just about streams and kind of
Content.
promotion.
Yep.
It's about building real relationships and connecting Florida Atlantic to the real business community down here in South Florida, which I think not enough universities do a great job of, but we do.
I agree 100%. And by the way, let's give Owl a little shout out because Owl, your co-host on Shrimp Tank, is Jason Hill, and he's the founder of Owl, who, by the way, I think he said that one of the inspirations for Owl was after interviewing so many entrepreneurs and founders on Shrimp Tank. He came up with the concept of connecting with people, through audio on Owl. And there's, I think, over 10,000 experts on Owl now, right?
Yeah. And he even built a program. He really just does a phenomenal job with all that stuff. I don't know how he does it all.
I know. Shout out to Jason Hill.
He seems like a lot of trouble, but he does a phenomenal
And
job.
invited us here today. We're so lucky to be in his studio.
Yeah,
Tell
he
us.
even launched a student ambassador program this year to make sure we could get more students on the app with some funds because it is, paid to connect with people. So he launched that program, and then he launched a whole jobs and intern specific focus segment to help get our kids jobs. And I mean, that's really gone great so far, and we'd love to see that, right?
I love that. Who doesn't need help with that these days, right? Especially
Almost
students.
everybody who's graduating,
Yeah.
or even if they're not graduating, you can never start too early when it comes to making connections, doing internships, getting jobs. So
Absolutely.
we try to execute that on Owl as well, and it's gone pretty good.
I know that Owl, as well as like lots and lots of local companies, went through the incubator program at the Runway, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So tell us, because I think a lot of people think that the incubator, the Runway, is just for students, but tell people like that are listening, like how it works. I know you talked a little bit about the applications. Now they're all funneled through one and you guys analyze. But then like, is there a cost associated? Then what's the next step and how does it work?
Yeah, so those are some common questions and misconceptions, which are fair, right? Because most university entrepreneurship programs service students, and maybe they service faculty who are trying to do some technological spin out. But we very much are open and have always been open at the Adams Center and the Runway to the broader community all throughout South Florida. Our entrepreneurship boot camp is wide open. Students, staff, faculty, and the community. The accelerator is the same thing. We are looking for the most promising companies in South Florida, regardless of any affiliation to Florida Atlantic, any prior affiliation. We'll get you affiliated. You just go ahead and apply.
That's right.
But if you're not an alumni, you're not related, but you happen to be in the area and you need some support with your startup, you can absolutely apply. And the program is currently completely free of charge.
That's incredible. It's
yeah.
incredible. And think about the value, that you're giving, because you have all these different mentors from different expertises.
Yeah, and people really need the help and support. Somebody's recently asking me if I had one piece of advice for a founder, what would it be? I'm a media looking for a clip type of thing. And it's like, get involved with the one thing is get involved with a program so you can get hundreds of those pieces of advice.
Yeah.
Because that one piece of advice isn't going to help anybody.
Yeah. It's like an approach.
Apply to an accelerator program. And I even said, it doesn't have to be ours. Techstars is phenomenal. They're all around the globe. Y Combinator is arguably the top accelerator in the world. Pretty hard to get into. Not as easy as ours. But there are quite a few other incubators and accelerators as well. But if you happen to be in South Florida, no place other to look than Florida Atlantic University and the Runway program.
Yeah. And there have been, like you said, I'm just going to give a shout out. I mean, I'll let you do it, Kevin, but a couple of companies that have gone through the incubator that have become really successful. And the other thing I want to give a shout out to is our, we can't make TEDx happen without our partners. And South Florida Tech Hub is one of our partners. Actually, we used to host a podcast here, Tech Tuesdays. Hopefully we'll be doing that again. But they also support big companies, small companies. I know a lot of the incubators that went through the companies that went through the incubator are South Florida Tech Hub members.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about some success stories, a little teaser with a few that you can think of.
Oh yeah, we've had so many different ones over the years. The most notable one that kind of everybody knows about is Shipmonk with Jan Bednar. That's a huge company.
They're at Brick, right?
They're
were
all over. They're from Miami to San Francisco, more than 3,000 employees, 1 million square feet of warehouse space. They do fulfillment and logistics. So if you haven't heard of them, that's not that surprising. But they're
It's a clever name too. Yeah.
That's actually after a rebrand that was done during our program. The initial name of that company was Better Box.
Wow, that's cool. That's a little piece of trivia too.
Oh yeah, I know. That's a fun one. I know all the secrets. So those aren't for the live stream. But most of them are good stories by and large. But there's a couple that are really progressing quickly now. Synchronics was just recognized down in Miami at the Florida Venture Forum. They were pitching as one of the growth companies.
Mm-hmm.
So very competitive to be amongst those companies. And then an even earlier founder that's making some great progress now. She got an investment from the New World Angels Innovation Fund. Is Andrea with EpiPause.
Oh yeah, I saw that presentation. She's amazing.
It's very cool. They use epigenetics to figure out how old your pet is, right? Because if you adopted it, you don't really know, and to get it the best health services, veterinary treatment, ideally you need to know the age, but that was just her entry-level product.
Mm-hmm.
Check out and follow along EpiPause. So big shout out to them. It's now moving beyond their actual age and looking at their biological age, and then looking at interventions to reduce their biological age. And this is a bunch of like science nonsense,
yes,
right? It gets a little bit above my pay grade. We got epigenetics and biological ages. The be all end all goal is to extend the life of your pet. So let's just simplify
and keep them
healthy. That's quite a value proposition. And it does involve some very advanced science, but at the end of the day, it's about keeping your pet healthier longer, which I think everybody wants to do.
Everybody wants. We have 2 dogs, one 13 and one 9, and they're part of the family, right? I want them to live to be 100. Hopefully epigenetics can help that. Oh my goodness. So what about you, Lana? Tell us a little bit more about your experience working with TEDx speakers.
It has been unbelievable because not only with TEDx Miramar, I've also worked with a couple of doctors from TEDx Eustis. And one of the talks for the doctors was about how the
Oh yeah, very
healthcare-
relevant to
well,
epigenetics.
how the healthcare system is preventing doctors from really doctoring because they're looking for the scores for patient satisfaction. Can you imagine? That was a very sensitive talk 2 years ago. And then this past year, it should be coming out here soon. It was with Dr. Gary Allen, and it was when he went back to learn robotic heart surgery at age 59 to stay relevant in his field. So now he's doing, instead of the 6,000 surgeries he's done where he opens the chest and everything else, it's all done robotically. And he talks about how he had to learn to sit 6 feet away in a spaceship simulator and do everything completely different. And now he's done all these additional surgeries, and he's helping actually train other surgeons around the country now, which is amazing when you think about it. I mean, and in his talk, he talks about how after each surgery, they do a debrief. And so everyone goes through everything you're looking at, the facial expressions and all of that type of stuff. So
Eric Mintz is in the house. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hi, Eric.
So Eric is the lead organizer with TEDx Boca Raton. So excited to have him here. If it wasn't for Eric, we all wouldn't be here, right?
I don't think that's even remotely true, Cindy.
It is true. It is
No,
true.
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Cindy. I'm just dead weight. The whole thing.
I don't know about
Just
that.
making the whole thing worse. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't want to get emotional, but we were just talking about EpiPause and living, like keeping animals alive longer, and also people too. There's so much out there now with AI, which I'm going to shift gears now that Eric is here. And just why don't we talk a little teaser about each of our speakers? And since you know Juan well, maybe you can tell us a little bit about Juan and Shri, because we have an incredible lineup of speakers this year. I mean, I always get excited about our speakers, but these are really, really special.
Yeah, I think this year more than any year, the speakers are actually probably the most prepared they've ever been.
I think so too. And I think we have the shortest runway this year.
Yeah, I think in truth though, it's what you instituted with the, having them online and doing the Zooms. So you were
Thank you, Lana.
Yeah,
Our little
between Cindy and Lana, it sort of forced the speakers to get really organized. So the couple of speakers that I know really well. So Shri, what's interesting about this year, it's the first year that we're having a repeat speaker. So Shri, I met, he was in my class at MIT.
From 8 years ago, he spoke,
Yeah,
right?
he spoke in 2018. That was our first, Cindy and I, our first inaugural year. And so he was part of that group, and he did a talk called Without Teeth. And it's really a very feel-good talk. And he's a prosthodontist, so he does implants, and he had a really good talk. And so he's our first repeat speaker, and he's just a very gifted speaker. And I don't know, he's got to have like 6 or 7 crazy degrees. He's very well educated.
Another MITer, by the way. Shout out to MIT. Eric has his MBA and 2 engineering degrees from FAU, actually.
Yeah,
yes.
It's sad that I can't get employed with all this. So
we're going to help you. Now, FAU, right, has their new employment thing, right? Is that just for students? But Eric's an alumni.
Oh, I'm sure we have resources for alumni as well.
Yes.
So Shri is a really gifted individual and a very good speaker. When I was in the drone industry for 4 years,
with a very large company.
Yeah, up until last year, I met Juan Plaza, who is really a thought leader and gets paid on a number of outlets in the drone space to write. So he's an incredible writer. He's also a pilot, and he's what they call a photogrammetrist. So he's ensconced in the drone industry, and I had done a lot of publishing, and he actually we met through publishing, and publishing each other's articles. I became a huge fan of his, and so he wanted to do a particular talk on something else, and I convinced him, like, dude, you got to do the drone thing, because the drone thing.
I agree 100%. By the way, I'm going to just say, ABC News last night had a big segment on drones. How, because Juan mentions a little teaser, something about the Jetsons in there.
Yeah.
And I was watching this, and it literally looked like one of the Jetson vehicles. And they were talking about it's going to be a taxi in New York City, and they're going to put it on the Uber app.
Yeah, it's Joby, I think.
Yes, yes. Yeah. And it's so cool. I mean, it looks like a very futuristic helicopter. And they said it's like 75%. Oh, wow. 75% less loud as a helicopter.
Yeah, it's basically a big drone.
Yeah.
And so I had written an article about the Jetsons and Skynet. And, what's fascinating is we've exceeded the Jetsons. And that's hard to believe. The problem is no one knows it because you can't see it. But when you watch the Jetsons, there's always a pilot in the box.
Do you remember the Jetsons?
Yeah,
I may have seen some clips.
Yeah, so a lot of what they say, because it came out in the 60s, and so a lot of what they show in their cartoons actually came true.
Sure.
In the drone industry, has actually exceeded the Jetson technology, but it's not obvious because there's no scale to this today. There are drones at municipalities with police stations, and drones with real estate companies, and 10 or 15 other industries where it's prevalent, but we don't see it. In the next couple of years, we really start to see it because the regulations are going to be there. I sort of lost my job because the FAA has been slow with the regulations. We're legitimately 5 years commercially behind China. So Juan has a great talk, and it's an interesting talk.
And he's got a great personality too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's so funny.
Yeah, he's
and
very funny. He's from Venezuela, so he's got a really interesting personality.
And a sweet man. Oh my
Very
gosh.
nice
Just
man,
yeah.
And then Brian Shea, he's someone I met a while ago, and his expertise is really in sales enablement and technology. And he's got a really interesting talk on something just unique to sales enablement and sales technologies, just in general. And he's also a gifted speaker. Those are the three that I know the best out of the 8.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, I've known Kevin for years, and I've known Wendi.
Yes.
The thing with Kelly Merbler, Money Merbler, is what a fascinating, because she got one year, I guess it was the second year, and we had some audio problems.
It was in the first year.
She got up on stage and
at FAU, actually.
She
Yeah.
got up on stage, and at the time we used to hire a MC. And that first year we had a bunch of audio problems. So to fill the time, the MC got people up on stage. And Kelly, I think, may have been the first person up on stage, which is wild.
And she got up and she said, I am going to be on that red dot. And she literally posted it on LinkedIn like a couple weeks ago. And she's like, it's happening.
And I think we may have made fun of her afterwards, you and I. But when you see her talk, I mean, God, she's just so gifted. Like,
oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So for me, and Wendi, of course, is people down here know Wendi, so she's a gifted speaker. But I think this year, it has a lot to do with what you instituted behind the scenes. It's really the most buttoned up group we've had, and that's exciting because when the talks are on average about 10 or 11 minutes, so we keep the pace going, and there's some really interesting topics, and it makes it good for the audience. So I'm really enthused about this year. Besides the fact behind the scenes, like it's always crazy. The last week, I mean, Cindy and I, it's just so Cindy does, 80% of the workload.
No,
I'm dead weight.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, and give a shout out to Lana too, like we're all volunteers. So lots of times people will say, oh, I know what it's like running an event, but not when you don't get paid to run an event.
Yeah. Yes.
We're doing it for the goodness of the community. So, right.
We didn't do it in 2025 because Cindy and I really got tired of paying for it. It looks like this year we're going to be in the black. Like we're going to break even.
I hope so. I hope so. We'll see.
And then with Lana, it was fascinating. You know, we bump into a lot of speaker coaches, and I think Cindy and I don't think highly of some of them. But I thought, wow, this is why I wrote you. I was like, we need Lana involved more often.
Yes.
She's been great.
Lana's been
Yeah.
amazing. If you're looking for a TEDx coach, reach out to Lana. Tell everybody how to reach you, Lana. Your email?
Yeah, you can reach me at Lana, Lona, Fink, F as in Frank, INK @gmail.com.
Yes.
All right, Cindy, I'm going to make some room for you.
Okay, Kevin,
Okay,
thank you so
Kevin.
much. It was so great having you. Teaser alert. You need to come and see Kevin speak on the TEDx Boca Raton stage, TEDxBocaRaton.com. Use code OWL10 and you can get 10% off. Is our next guest here too? Okay, cool. Cool. So let's see. Did we touch on everyone? I just want to touch on. Oh, what about Alex?
Alex and
You,
Pia.
yeah,
And
you.
Pia, yeah.
We'll all give a little teaser about Alex. I'll let you start.
I was fascinated by what he does.
Oh, he's amazing, and went to Dreyfus High School.
Did he go to? Oh, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, he does. It's kind of a mix of like architecture and interior design and
Film and theater,
it's
and
very multidisciplinary what he does, and I can't wait to see his talk. I think I haven't seen it, so I don't know it.
Lana and I saw it.
Yeah.
It's so good. Oh my goodness. And again, such a short runway. I was like nail biting because we hadn't really been completely a lot in contact with him. I mean, with between his like theater background, it was I got goosebumps listening to it. It's really, really good.
And then with Pia, she's running for Congress.
Yes.
Right?
Pia Dandia. Yeah.
and so she's probably comfortable speaking in front of people. So
Yes.
I
She
haven't-
was a school principal. She went to Harvard. She's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was a school principal in Harlem.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to see her. I think those are the only two I don't have a really context to.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm
we did. You heard Pia speak, right?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm meeting with her tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So I was lucky to hear Pia and all of them, actually, every single one. I'm just so excited about. And yeah. And Money Merbler's coming here. We're
10
going
out
to
of 10.
invite her to the
Jenny
stage.
Merbler, wow.
Come on in, Kelly.
Okay.
We're going to learn a lot from Kelly because Kelly is a keynote speaker. That's what she does, right? Among other things, leadership coach. Hi, Kelly.
I'm good. How about you? Oh,
Hi.
Okay.
We're so excited to have you.
Left. I want to make
Yep.
sure I do this right.
Yep, you're in.
Okay.
You're in. We
here?
have another one of our speaker stars here. Thank
All
you
right.
so much for taking the time, Kelly. I know everybody's busy
you.
and excited and got a lot going on for this last few days.
Yeah, it's a busy week.
Lots
For
of
you,
practice.
I mean, you're
Lots of
organizing
practice.
it, and that is no small feat.
To the victor
so-
go the spoils.
My gosh. So I know there's a lot going on. And thank you for what you're putting on.
Aw, thank you, Kelly. This has been a long time coming.
So
8 years.
Oh my gosh.
we told the story. So tell it from your perspective when you got on the stage. It's
Yes,
been 2018.
please.
So, God, it seems like yesterday. It's hard to believe that was 8 years
Crazy.
ago.
Crazy.
It's nuts. But my good friend Kristen Gallucci,
She was amazing too. Kristen was
amazing.
incredible.
it was
Look up her TED Talk.
500,000 views. So
Yeah,
far.
yeah.
But yeah, seriously, she's
Wow.
amazing. So it was the very first, I think, TEDx when you first launched. Was that back 8 years ago?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes. This will be our 9th event.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it was
And
your
yeah,
first
it was
one.
our first event at FAU. Yep. I mean, Eric got the license because there was TEDx Boca Raton before Eric and I took over and started hosting them. There was a woman who hosted, I think, 2 years before we did. And then she moved and we
Yeah,
took
and
the
then
license over.
Once applying for the license is actually kind of difficult. So I wasn't sure I'd get it. And then once I got it, I was like terrified. So the first person I called was Cindy. You've got to do this with
Good
me.
choice.
There's no way
Good
I'm going to be
choice.
able to do this on my own. And and we knew each other through IBM circles back in the day. And it's just a fluke. I didn't know what to do once I got the license, and her picture showed up on LinkedIn. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen Cindy in 10 years. And then I probably just texted you, DM'd you on LinkedIn.
And then we had lunch at the Thai
Yeah.
restaurant.
Like, I'm begging. I can't do this, on my own. Yeah. So it's sort of like the meeting of Smith and Wesson, really.
And then initially we had a really big team. And by the way, they were all amazing, but then we kind of like whittled down, and it's us again.
It's basically just Cindy and I, yeah.
And Carrie from Living
Carrie
FLA,
has
he's been
great.
amazing. He's been amazing.
And then Cece and Alicia, there's other people.
Oh yeah, yeah.
joined.
Cece's been incredible support. She runs the volunteer team. Like years ago when we hosted it at FAU and even at Meisner, we had, well, at FAU there were well over 1,000 people when Kristen spoke. And at Meisner, the coldest day of the year, mind you, 39 degrees, I think.
Oh my God.
We still had close to 1,000 people there. And Cece ran all the volunteers, and we had 100 volunteers. I mean, it was quite an undertaking. So now we'll have close to 300 people at Brick, and it's going to be hopefully way more efficient, probably 10 or 15 volunteers, but still very, very
We
exciting.
used to have about
Yeah.
100 volunteers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot to coordinate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I remember when it first launched, when Kristen and I saw it, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, we were
Yeah.
like, oh my God, TEDx is coming to
I
Boca.
I know.
And I went and I saw the podcast studio, there. And I remember seeing the volunteers with the shirts on, and it was like unreachable. I was
Yes.
like, I want to be
Yes.
a volunteer for TEDx.
We just found the sizzle from that first one, and it was so good. We
It
were
was
like, oh my
good.
gosh. Yeah, it was so cool. And we had students involved, and very, very cool. And now we're a lean machine now.
Yeah, I look at that. I was like, God, I had a really fat head back then.
It was also like, it was more than a 6-figure event. I mean, it was very, very costly. And obviously we had to raise money for sponsorships, and as volunteers, that's a lot. But I'm going to shout out to some of the speakers. We've had speakers from Disney, from MIT, from Eric's Connections, like incredible speakers from MIT, like the inventor of Guitar Hero, Skylanders, and Nintendo Mario, right? Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like
So good.
$3 billion franchises,
Wow.
gaming, and I'm trying to Facebook, Google, National Geographic. I mean, amazing thought leaders. And this year, Kelly Merbler. Yes. No, seriously, we've been wanting to have you on our stage for years. And Kelly, I'm so grateful that you are joining us this year.
Thank you for believing in me.
Of course. Of course. And so, okay, so tell us how you're preparing, because so many people who are listening want to do TED Talk.
Sure.
Now, Kevin said he's kind of winging it, although we heard his talk and it's amazing. And I would say Eric and I have worked with over 100 speakers over the past 9 events.
Yeah.
And I would say 2 or 3 would say that they winged it. All of them. And even our most seasoned keynotes, like Heather Monahan, like you, that's, she's with part of the Maxwell Leadership Group. I mean, these are practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. So I would say it's unusual to kind of not spend months and months practicing and days. I know you said that your family's looking forward to the day after TEDx, right?
We have a big plan for Sunday. We are celebrating not only that I did it, but that
Yes.
it's done.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. For preparation, I don't know how anybody can wing it, honestly. I can
Well,
honestly
this is what you
say-
do for a living too. So
Well,
yeah.
this is my life. This is why I left the corporate world, because I wanted to be a professional speaker and do leadership programs. But this is just a different level of practice. I can tell you, one of my coaches yesterday, Roddy, was asking me, how many times are you going to practice this week? And I'm like,
It's
How
in your
many-
head. You can't help it. It's in your head,
How
right?
many more walks around the block am I going to stay at? My neighbors think I'm crazy because I'm walking in the morning with my coffee, talking to myself.
Right.
My dog has heard it a million times at this point. Like, he's my cat.
And it's so good. It's so good, Kelly. It's
But
so good.
It means so much to me. Like,
Mhm.
this has been my work for the past 8 years.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I put a lot of pressure on myself.
I know you're a
Yes,
perfectionist. You are.
It's
Yeah.
so good though. But I put a lot of pressure on myself because I want to do a good job for the audience. They
Mhm.
deserve to have a good message for being there, and I want to add value to them. But I also have really reflected and thought about this, and I deserve to do a good job too for myself.
Well, this is a legacy piece. I mean, 44 million viewers on TEDx YouTube channel. I mean, it's one of those things that is going to live on in perpetuity. So it's the coolest thing. I just feel like that's I think one of the reasons why Eric and I volunteer our time for so many years is that I do believe that we're changing lives and helping make the world a better place, because there's only so much you can do, right? Like getting involved in things. And this is something like we've had one of our speakers, Dr. Margaret Rutherford, her talk went viral. She has over 2 million views. People have said that she's saved their life because of her talk, Perfectly Hidden Depression, about normalizing the conversation about
Heard that.
suicide. It's so good.
And it's true.
Yeah. I mean,
Jane Epstein.
Jane Epstein, she spoke, and this was something, I mean, Eric and I, it was one of those talks that it's about sibling sexual assault, which is a very, very challenging conversation. And she's spoken in front of Congress. She was been written about in People magazine. She wrote a book. Like, it's opened so many doors for her. And it is a conversation. And believe it or not, it's something that, I mean, if it's not in your world, thankfully, you don't know about it, but there is a whole world out there that happens. So
And no one would let her do the talk. And
Yeah.
So Cindy and I really
Wow.
had to do a lot of
Wow.
thought into, because you always like to do one talk that makes people uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but this was like a whole nother level.
right.
And then she became ground zero for all of it. It's
Wow.
incredible the platform that TED
Wow.
can provide someone like her.
Mm-hmm.
No one would give her an opportunity to talk about it. We did, and then that night there were people in the audience. Yeah, and that was at TEDx.
That
Alaska.
approached her,
Yeah, that
and
was-
we're so moved by it because they had that
Yeah,
issue.
That was TEDx Alaska
Yeah.
because it was 40 degrees
Wow.
that night.
Mhm.
And-
TEDx Alaska. That's
and-
right.
right. And there was
I sent my husband to get blankets from Walmart.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, and we were handing them out.
it was a
TEDx in the tundra.
yes, exactly. But it was to see people, because this was a talk I had never heard of sibling sexual assault, and it's one of those things, with kids, it's kind of murky. Like there's not a clear dividing line, because kids are being kids. But there were people in the audience that this was the first time that anyone was talking about it in public, and it was, really cathartic to see them engage with her. Yeah,
Wow.
and then she's become ground zero for this
Mhm.
across the planet. It's amazing
Wow.
what's happened for her. Yeah.
Definitely creates like a ripple effect, which I'm sure your talk is going to do the same. So a ripple effect, it's going to touch people. It's going to move people. It's going to make a difference and an impact in the world. I mean, you're already doing that in so many ways, but okay, give us a little teaser. First, you didn't kind of introduce yourself. So tell us about Kelly Merbler, Money Merbler.
Eric is never going
Yeah,
to stop.
I love
telling
Wendi.
me. And you'll understand when you're at TEDx this weekend.
And I think we have Wendi in the wings here. We're gonna
Okay.
switch. We're gonna switch Lana out whenever. No, Wendi needs to come whenever. But I want you to continue.
Yeah, so I'm local. So being in my local community, I'm in Wellington. So just doing TEDx in Boca is such a. I kind of went back and forth. If I ever decided to do a TEDx, I always thought I would fly somewhere far away to do it.
Some people go to Singapore. I literally have seen oh yes, so
Yeah.
many. Yeah, a lot of women that have been coached by Heather Monahan, because I've met a lot of them,
Yeah.
and I see on LinkedIn they're traveling here or there, and yeah, it's really cool.
I've always thought
Now
if
it's
I
right in your
decide
backyard.
to do it, I'm like, I'm gonna fly far away because there's a part of me, very honestly, that I'm like, I don't want to know anybody in the
The
audience.
pressure. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
And so doing it here, it does add another element of pressure just for me personally, because you don't want to let anybody down.
Of
But
course.
I'm local in the community. I'm very involved in our community. I love our South Florida community, and people that do know me, you know, I am so passionate about developing leaders and inspiring leaders and just people in general across, you know, as far as I can reach, but especially here in my backyard. And another fun fact about me that you'll learn quickly is I do love coffee. I have OCD, obsessive coffee disorder.
I love it.
Love my coffee.
Coffee with Kelly. Tell us about that.
We
Dunkin'
are
or
your coffee
Starbucks?
sponsor this.
Yes.
this
Thank
Saturday.
you.
Is it-
Yes.
Do you prefer Dunkin' or Starbucks?
Okay, so there's a big debate on that. And I am at heart a Starbucks girl, but someone that has mentored me got me to try Dunkin' last year, a year ago, and I have gone back and forth.
I love Dunkin'. I mean, I love Starbucks for like specialty drinks, but actually for coffee, I prefer Dunkin'.
I had Dunkin'
Yeah.
this morning.
Yeah.
And it has to be on my mood, but I'd say majority I'm at Starbucks.
Yes. I'm a Starbucks majority too because I like the matcha and all the other, you know, but regular coffee, I feel like I like Dunkin'. You got to mix it up, right?
Depends on the mood.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Starbucks can be a little more bitter, I think, sometimes.
Mhm.
But,
It's strong. It's
yeah.
really strong.
But-
They used to have like a blonde flavor, but
blonde roast,
they don't
yes.
have it
There
anymore.
are some days that require a strong coffee.
Yeah, that's true.
So Saturday may be that day. Absolutely.
Oh, we have Wendi
come
in the
on, Wendi.
wings. Come on in.
Hi, Wendi.
Oh my goodness, we got the blonde star power here.
All right.
More blondes in the house.
Hi, Wendi.
Thank you, Lana.
Hi.
Thank you.
Lana,
Mwah.
thank you for everything.
Got the right way.
Hello. Mwah. How are you?
So excited.
I'm so excited. So I'm going to just let Kelly finish her story because I also wanted you to tell us a little bit about your corporate like journey into entrepreneurship. And then it's kind of going to segue into Wendy's, I think.
Okay, absolutely. So yeah,
It's so inspirational. That's why I always like for people to share it because there's so many people out there that are either losing jobs or not happy at their jobs. And you've created, you really have created your own way. And it's amazing.
I am proud of it, and it was not easy, nor is it ever easy, but I did spend 21 years in the corporate world and love what I did for many of those years and had success, had great people that I worked with that I cared for so much. But I think, the more I talk to people about it, I know I wasn't alone in this. I think there comes a time in your life where success isn't feeding you as much as it once was. And it was a void of what John Maxwell calls significance. I was missing significance in my life. And I wanted to find a way to create that in work that I was doing because we spend 75% of our life at work. And when I was starting to later in
That's crazy when you think about
it
that,
is,
you
but
know?
it's true.
Yeah.
But later in my career, as I started adding on more years, I started saying, wow, I just don't feel as excited to go to work anymore on a Monday morning. And as much as I loved what I did for so long, my values shifted and things that were not as important to me in the beginning of my career became the center of my life and my focus. And I wanted to have more time with my family and more time doing things in the community and giving back in some way. And I just said, you know what? I have to make a decision. Do I stay here and just continue to collect a great paycheck, which is nice,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to create my own path that felt meaningful to me. And the only way that I was going to be able to do it was to take the risk and bet on myself. And that's after 21 years. I always say that after you hit 21 years in the corporate world, you are legally allowed to drink on the job. And I said, when I hit that milestone, I am going to make that decision. And I walked away in 2018, ground zero, with a seed planted in my heart saying our community, but just in general, companies need better leadership development.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't exist often.
So true.
And
so
I
true.
was a product of that environment where I struggled. I needed help. I wasn't good at it. And I really wanted to figure out a way to get better leadership programs into organizations that would help fill that gap that I experienced of feeling lonely, just not prepared, and wanting to be better and willing to do the work. I just needed to know how to get myself there. And so that's what I decided to do. And I created it 8 years ago, and this community has been so good to me. So
And
many
you've been so good
wonderful-
to so many people. That's why it's
I love my
reciprocal.
community.
Yeah, it's reciprocal.
I
yeah.
love them. I give them a lot of coffee. Um,
By the way, your thought, I mean, just what you're talking about right now, it's part of your, like, it's a teaser to your talk, I would say. And it's so thought provoking because Eric and I were talking, you know, during when we were listening to it, but then also afterwards. It's so thought provoking and it's so true. And then of course, John Maxwell is your mentor. Like, who better than that? Tell us a little bit about that experience.
goat.
Literally, he's like,
he's a goat.
he's amazing, amazing, amazing.
I love John. And yeah, he has just blessed me with, taking me under his wing 10 years ago and just helping me learn what leadership really is about and how to be a great leader and what that looks like. And
Mhm.
so I do owe so much to him and so many mentors in my life for helping me see a path, but then I had to believe in myself to make that decision. But people like John in my life have been so supportive of you and just people that believe in me.
Well, speaking of, I'm going to shift to Wendi,
Yeah.
but before we do that, just give a shout out to your event that's coming up. You have an event, your Live to Lead,
Oh yeah. So one of the things I love to do, in the
which I've been
community-
to. It's incredible, incredible.
Thank you. And I started it at Brick a few
Yes,
years
yes.
ago, and we've moved because we needed more space. But Live to Lead South Florida is an event that I have been developing and evolving over the past. This will be our 4th year, and so grateful that for 3 years we have sold out this event. But it is all about bringing leaders in this community together with their teams, and I love that leaders are bringing their teams for this day of development and growth. And every year I try to do something different, but I can't announce formally yet. But there are some really incredible speakers that I am bringing in this year live in the room for that day of development. And it is going to blow your minds. So stay very close who is coming into the room this year, because I can't even believe this is happening.
Wow.
So stay
Wow.
close.
Okay. Can't wait. Can't wait. Okay. So Wendi, we are so, so, so blessed to have
Yes.
you here and so excited. And I don't want to go through the whole, but Wendi jumped into this position because it opened, and we were talking about her speaking next year. And this woman is practicing and practicing and practicing, and she's amazing. And I'm so grateful to her for stepping in. I want you to give us a little teaser, but talk about your journey, Wendi, because yours is a little similar to Kelly's with being
little
in
similar.
corporate.
Yeah.
wanna
Yes,
hear.
for
Okay.
sure. And the timeline was about the same. And it was the same kind of thing. It was a great company, great people,
Yeah.
great income, all the things, but something was missing. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I started to explore and take some courses and read different kinds of books. And it just slowly began to happen that there's another path for me. I couldn't even see another path. And I was close to 50. So I was like, well, I'm either going to do this for the duration.
Talk about inspiration. That's a big deal.
It was scary.
Yeah, it's a big
It
deal.
was really scary. I literally thought about it and dress rehearsed it in my mind for a couple years.
Yeah.
I literally came up with the day that I was going to resign, and it was a year out. I was waiting till we were all going to be, I worked in the pharmaceutical industry. And I was waiting until a big medical meeting where I knew our entire company would be there and all of my accounts would be there. And I was going to tell them the very last day, right before I was going to head to the airport. That is how much I really respected and loved everybody, and what a hard decision it was to make. But I knew I had to make it. So I know I'm really going to date myself, but I call a
You have to date
cab.
yourself because you are an inspiration, my friend. Seriously.
this.
Literally,
Great.
I call a taxi because there were no Ubers. So I call a taxi. I am in San Francisco and I know the cab. I know how much time it's going to take. I have like 15 or 20 minutes. I got to find my boss. I got to find him really quickly. I see him. His name is Jeff. I go, Jeff, we need to talk. He thinks I want to show him a medical study. He's like, what do you want to show me? What and where? I go, no. He sees the look on my face that I'm really serious and literally is like, okay, I got you. Opens the door. It was basically a linen closet. We slip inside with like coats and things, slip inside. And I said to him, I started speaking. I wrote a book. I'm turning in my resignation. He's like, what? How many times do you speak? What is this?
And this
How-
was
how many-
this
like,
was
what is
cutting
this?
edge back then, right?
Literally.
You were like personal branding 101, this was a while ago.
It was crazy. It was 16, 17 years ago. And so he said, okay, let me just call you on Monday. Don't tell anybody. I'll call you on Monday. He was like, take the weekend. So then on Monday, he said, okay, how many days a week? How many days a week will you give us? And then you can do these other things. So I took him up on it. I mean, that was like,
that was
okay.
like Tony
That was
Robbins
like-
always says that if you could do both for a while, like that's amazing.
I couldn't have even imagined that scenario because I didn't know anybody that did that. But I was like, okay, so this is what we can do. And so I stayed for a couple more years.
Wow.
So I was able to actually transition. The interesting thing about it is the accounts. And as I was sharing with them, actually one of my physician assistants right away, she's like calling me and asking me, how do I write a book? So I was all of a sudden, they thought, that's really great that you're still going to work through your company with us, but we want to talk to you about a few other things. So that started to happen. It was really very interesting, but it was very scary at the same time. I would have never imagined that would have happened, but it did give me a runway. And then I was able to bridge both worlds a little bit. Having a book opened a lot of doors. So, and I was taking courses at the same time. You were talking about John Maxwell. I was taking a course on NLP, like hypnotherapy and
cool.
all of that. I was taking a course and I met somebody who came in to ask the instructor, the owner of the company, to speak at her conference. And she left asking me to speak at her conference. So like doors started to open.
Yeah.
And the book made a significant difference. And then I was trying to explore. I mean, it's a lot, like entering a whole new world. It was so very different. But now when I look
Plus you
back,
have personal stuff going on too. at
oh,
the same
kids,
time.
college,
Yes.
a house full, of things going on. So it was a lot of activity and there was a lot of up and down. I mean, I was scared. I was like really out of my comfort zone all of the time, completely. But, when you learn, I think when you learn corporate and then how to navigate that world and then all the expectations, like you're working from whatever, your meetings start 7 a.m. and they're going till like way into the evening. And then you have to do dinner and then you have to socialize. So you're so used to that kind of
For sure.
Fine.
work
Yes.
ethic as an entrepreneur. So I think that's really important too. But I wouldn't, like looking back, I wouldn't have changed anything because it all has been part of my path and allowed me to be able to do things and to say yes. When an opportunity comes, that you say, okay, that's important and I'm going to make that happen.
Yeah.
So I'm so honored and excited to be part of
honored
TEDx.
too with both of you. Seriously.
wait to hear your
yes,
talk.
Yes. So Wendi, tell us a little bit about what you do now, right? And a little teaser about what you're going to talk about.
Okay. So my first corporate career before I worked in the pharmaceutical industry was I worked for a company by the name of Dictaphone Corporation.
I remember that.
You remember?
Yeah.
I know another thing, I'm really dating myself.
That is dating.
This is
I know,
19 this is
exactly. I remember too.
1985. 1985. Eric's even shaking his head. It's 1985. And so dictaphone, interesting enough, was founded by Alexander Graham Bell, the same man that invented the telephone. And I called on doctors who were using the dictating, which was basically just a handheld recorder.
I remember
Like, it's
that.
basically what it was, to record after they would go in to see a
And
patient.
that was cutting edge back then.
It
right?
was.
Yeah.
They were summarizing the
Yeah.
patient
Yes.
findings as they walked out of the exam room.
Right.
And so I had a dictaphone in my car, and I started using my dictaphone. Really, I would summarize my sales calls. I would talk into it about my quotas or my business goals, but I always had that device. And when I left and I moved on and I ended up working in the pharmaceutical industry, I still had my old dictaphone
Like
with
your
me.
dictaphone journals. How cool is that?
That's what it was. And that really was the catalyst to what happened in my life. And so that is actually the story that I am going to share, and what I am like so passionate about, because I have made recordings of my own voice for 40 years.
Wow.
40 years, I have over 10,000 recordings. I mean, bare minimum.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's incredible.
And I've listened back to them
Oh, I
Wow.
love that.
over and over and over again. I'll even share a story with you. Yesterday was my son's birthday. Well, 2 days ago was my son's birthday. He's 38. I was listening to one of the recordings I made for him when he turned 30, because I was making another recording for him at 38, because I want him to have my voice, because the voices in our head are usually saying something unkind and negative.
Yes.
And so if you imprint what you want to be in there, and that's what I had to do to reinvent myself, going from the only world that I knew, which was corporate and the pharmaceutical industry, into entrepreneurship. That was a big difference,
Yeah.
a big wow factor difference. And I had to keep walking myself off the cliff. So my voice that would normally say, you're not good enough, you know, and you're not worthy, all those things, I would counteract it with, you've got this, you can do this. So I would play and I could also analyze my voice. I could tell when I didn't believe what I was saying. And then I would keep practicing it, dress rehearsing, and my voice would get stronger and have more conviction. And then
What a
through
cool
listening to it,
experiment. Seriously. I
40
wish I
years.
did that, you know?
It's funny.
It's amazing.
I listen to Howard Stern, and I can tell you when his voice from the 90s and to how it's changed over the decades.
Mhm.
right?
You can tell, you
Yeah.
can almost pinpoint the decade when you hear the voice.
Well, Kevin was even sharing when he first started teaching at FAU. He said he was teaching economics and he was 23 years old, like the same age as the students practically. And he was like, I was bumbling through these presentations, and it's like amazing when you think about it. And then to have that, like a record of that, that's so cool.
That's fascinating, because I
Yeah.
can even appreciate that, because I have saved on purpose voicemails that I've received from people that are no longer alive.
Yes.
Yes.
And there's something about a voice.
Yes.
where you can
Absolutely.
go back and it takes you into that moment of, you know, how they sounded and the love that was there and the message they leave. So there is something very powerful about that.
Very special.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that, Wendy. I love it.
I can't
Yeah.
wait for your talk.
Oh,
I can't wait.
gosh. Well, I'm working on it. I'm still working on my talk. I'm still,
Yes, I know. You're going to be amazing, because you just did an event that when you spoke, it's a different talk, of course, but you just had a big event that you were prepping for. So why not throw another big event to prep for?
Why not? And I had my own event in between
Yes,
that.
exactly.
And I launched, I don't know how many books in
Oh my-
between.
Well, tell
So-
us about your authors and that program that you have.
Oh, gosh. Well, I love working with passion-driven entrepreneurs to help them get their story, voice, and message out into the world. So to rally behind them while they are writing their book. And the statistics are just, they're so shocking. 82% of the population wants at some point in their life to write a book. 3% actually write a book, they finish it. 0.6% publish. 0.6.
I believe that.
In 1 year, 2 authors came to me to write books because their fathers had started writing them and
Aw.
passed before they published. So that's why, like, I think about that all of the time, that let's get it written. First off, if you're going to start with me, we're going to finish.
Right.
Like, you're finishing that
You
book.
have a system, which is beautiful too. It's not like you're on your own. And that's what I'm so excited about with everyone here. I mean, this is like everyone's very passionate. This TEDx, we're very passionate about sharing voices like these 2 amazing ladies, but also that's the foundation of what you do. Also, I mean, helping people, right? Helping communities and become better leaders and better people, recognizing their strengths, right?
Yeah. I think a lot of people, they have the thought in their mind, but it stays there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who said this, but I love that quote about the graveyard. What's the richest place in the universe? And it is the graveyard.
Yes.
Because that's where all the ideas go to die.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
that's so powerful because everybody has something they want to achieve, but something prevents them from moving forward. And so if I can be one voice in their life that can help them say, I can do this.
Yes.
I can be a better leader, or I can start a company, or I can do a TEDx talk. Like, listen, anybody that is listening, let me tell you this, because if I can do this, I have avoided this for 8 years. I've avoided this for 8 years. I've been terrified. I'm not gonna lie. And people are like, why?
And I love that you're saying that. I love that you're saying that because so many people look at you and say, she's a keynote speaker.
Yeah,
like
well,
this is what she does for, and
it is
yeah,
so
it's
that is not a
different.
prerequisite.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. It's not. Erica and I say that all the time. We really,
no.
we love giving, unsung heroes a platform too. And that's like we were saying, like with Jane, and it's incredible.
No, I am extremely putting a lot of pressure on myself. I told you this. And
You're
just
going to be
because I
amazing.
speak, full time doesn't mean it's
It's
what
different
it's
too.
very
Yeah, a TED
different.
Talk is different.
Very different. And so, but when you and I talked this year, I stopped and I paused, because every other time when I've submitted, I said, nope, not doing it. I will fly to Singapore first.
Yeah, I think giving a TED Talk, there's something tacit about it, and
Yes.
there's a couple videos that we give all the speakers.
For sure.
And
But
June talks about how there are issue-based talks and there's idea-based talks, right? And you need to know the difference, because
there is a difference.
Yeah, your
For
talk
sure.
will fall under one of those.
yeah. And when 8 years ago, when I stood on that red dot at your first TEDx event in Boca Raton,
I love that you captured that. Well, Kelly, I'm sorry. Who captured it? Kristen got it. Yes, she got it.
Yeah, but when
I
I
wasn't
stood
sure if
on that red dot and I looked out, I manifested that moment. But if I had acted on that moment 8 years ago, looking back now, as much as I wanted it and envisioned it, I was not ready.
Right.
I know that for a fact. And I absolutely believe that I needed the time that I've had to study more of what I do, so I could really add value in a way that I couldn't have in the
Yes.
past.
Yes.
But I'm telling you what, I'm definitely nervous. And I'm practicing every single day. And
It's normal.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's so normal.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
But-
I moved into the other bedroom because I told my husband at 3:00 in the morning, if I just have to start rehearsing my talk, that's what I got to do. So
husband
I'll
can
see you in a few
probably
days.
The interesting thing about Jane, because Cindy and I struggle with this, was a person that never worked in corporate America, had never been in a meeting, had never driven a PowerPoint presentation. This was
No,
something-
she even said she
Yeah,
was a
she-
stay-at-home mom,
was-
and
yeah.
she was a powerhouse on that stage.
And if you put that person in front of 1,000 people, you don't know what can happen. And
Yeah.
she got up there and she was in a trance.
She was
just-
amazing.
There wasn't
rocked it.
anything going to stop her from doing that talk, and
respect
stood
that.
there and just plowed through it. Was totally focused.
Mm.
Just
And she
always
did work
thinking-
with a
yeah,
coach. She was
did work
she
with-
and
yeah.
Brian Miller, he's amazing too.
Yeah. she
Shout
did
out
work
to
with-
Brian.
Yeah. And you could see it. She was so focused, always thinking about where she was going, and she didn't stop until she got to the end, and you could see it in her face. And it was really sadly, she stood in the bad lighting, right? That's the only downside of the talk, is sometimes you can stand in bad. We don't have that in this conference.
I was going to say, where's the bad lighting?
Yeah, there's a lot more control because
Yeah,
this was
okay.
at Meisner. It was outside, even though there was an overhang. I mean, we were so lucky. They were incredible to us,
Right,
Meisner.
and what
but-
you see versus what the camera captures are two different things.
right.
In the conference center, we don't have lighting issues, thank God. But she just happened to stand in some bad light and never moved. But the
And we have good audio there too.
Yeah, we
the
have-
bigger
yeah.
room actually was not as good, the audio.
after the first year that you were there,
Mhm.
we had the right video guy. We've had the same video, John Bernardo
Okay.
does our video, and then we got Abraham, and those two have been the A team since. We've never really had any problems.
That's great.
Yeah, since
such a
then, yeah,
skill.
knock on wood.
Yes,
the
yes.
photographer Tom Craig, who's doing it this year, is sort of a renowned photographer in South Florida. So it's a really
Wow.
good AV team. Yeah, this year.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the A team.
It's
yeah,
very important
yeah.
Yes.
to get that
yes.
team right.
Yeah.
Well, Kelly, I stood in the dot, on the dot, not
Yeah.
on, last year, I guess it
Yes.
was.
Oh no, 2024 because we skipped
2024.
last year.
Okay. Yeah. So 2024. And I remember thinking, I just want to go stand there for a moment. And,
And here you,
just-
are,
just-
couple
just-
days.
couple years later. Yeah. A
Yes.
couple years later. But I would not have been ready. I don't think I would have been ready until exactly now. I don't think I could.
Well, the timing
said
of everything
yes.
with your Spark Talk and everything else you have going on, I just felt
Yeah.
like you are ready. You are ready.
And there is a secret that we don't tell the world. But
I
the
know.
mor-
I'm
Please-
dying to
please
know.
tell us.
I have chat GPT'd it.
the morning of the speaker meeting, we reveal the big secret about a TED Talk, but you
Oh,
always
really?
have to be a speaker, and we don't talk about it yet. But that morning, we revealed the big secret.
Okay. That morning, there's a big secret.
Yes, there is.
Yeah,
We
Do
don't
you know the
No,
secret?
I don't
But you
know
know there is a secret. I guess if you know you have the secret that there is a secret, you're ahead of the game. I'm just learning. Okay, great.
Yeah, there is a secret. Yeah.
Well, if you guys haven't convinced yourself yet to come to TEDx Boca on May 2nd, I hope that you have now because we have these two incredible ladies and 6 other amazing speakers.
And then the entertainment.
Oh, and then the entertainment. Oh my
God.
goodness. So we have a little girl who's 9 years old, Mia, and her partner, her dance partner, they're August, they're world champion ballroom dancers.
I think
the
they
two of
did
them.
something in the community
So-
before.
Well, no, August did TEDx Miramar, and then we invited them as a team. He did
that's
a
where I've
Latin
seen them.
presentation, which was amazing.
Okay.
Amazing.
Cindy
yes.
was talking about this, and I thought, how good could it be? And then she sent me the video, and August has such a presence. I'm like, how do
Wow.
you get that?
And the
And he's
and
11,
Mia
you know.
too. Mia is 9 years old,
Yeah.
and they travel around the world and do ballroom dancing.
He's got so
It's
much
incredible.
attitude for 11 years old. It's incredible.
Yeah.
To see him.
Yeah.
Wow.
And as a team, I'm super excited. I've watched their Instagram videos and
Mhm.
yeah, they're amazing.
You're almost sold out, aren't you?
Yeah, we're almost sold out.
Close.
Yep. We have about 200 tickets sold and we are just going to sell over probably 270 because we have our team too. So
Yeah.
we have to have room for everyone. So and everyone waits till the last minute. So don't
Always.
I would definitely buy them now just because I know we're going to get calls like the last day. Can we come? And we always sell out. So, especially at this venue, because it's a smaller venue, we only have room for 300 people. And a lot of our other events have been over 1,000. So, and we'll probably be finished by 6 or 6:30. So you can still make the Kentucky Derby.
Is it
The same night. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. We need to have an after party, right?
Statistically, we've never sold so many tickets so soon. So we're
Yes, because
gonna sell out.
we didn't open the it all sort of happened very quickly this year because again last year we had to skip because we have to raise funds, we're volunteers, and it's a lot of work to raise funds, which you know what, I'm going to give a little shout out to some of our partners before we close off. And I just want to share who they are, because they're, we wouldn't be able to put the TEDx on without them. And I do want to mention that, everyone wants to do a TEDx talk. A lot of people do anyway. And, but we always have challenges finding partners. And I'm going to use Cece as an example. Cece spoke on our stage in 2018, and then she spoke on another TEDx stage. Then she started her own TEDx in Miramar, but she volunteered for 5 years for TEDx Boca Raton before she got on stage. And we didn't even know because we had taken it over and we just loved her submission and we invited her. But what I'm saying is, like, it's a long game. And if you want to get involved, please, we have sponsor as little as $500. And we really, really rely on our partners. So Brick has been an amazing partner for many years, which is where we're hosting it. VConics, she helps us with all the tech and the website stuff. Living FLA is amazing. They help us with promotions, help us on site. Carrie's incredible and has an amazing community. Gray Robinson, do you want to give Gray Robinson a shout out?
It's a well-known law firm, and they've been a consistent partner over the years. And Carrie, by the way, Carrie is really part of the team.
Yeah, he is. He's
years.
definitely, like, the three of us are on Zooms, on calls all the time, late at night. Owl, shout out to Owl again. Code Owl 10, you get 10% off. Thank you. Jason has been a partner since day one. He's been amazing. The City of Boca Raton, we couldn't do it without the City of Boca Raton. They've been incredible. We actually worked with them again when we had it at Meisner Park several years ago, but without the city, they're invited. We'd love for the City of Boca Raton to attend. The Boca Raton Tribune, without our media partners, we wouldn't be able to do it because they help us promote it. Media Components, they're going to be on site doing sizzles on site at the networking area. So we want to be able to promote everything on the front end, which doors open at 1:30. So if you want to come early, and we have a VIP section. You'll be able to meet the speakers and the sponsors. Flamingo House, which is the co-working space in Boca Raton. They've been amazing over the years. South Florida Tech Hub. Again, South Florida Tech Hub has been partners for many, many years since the beginning. I know Joe Russo back in the day was supporting us and made so many introductions that helped us. And the community now has obviously been very supportive. Tap into Boca Raton, Coral Springs, and Coconut Creek. They're also a media partner, and we're very, very grateful to them. So if you want to get involved, and you know what, media partners, and we can barter. Like, we love having partners that are donating things to us that we need for the event. Do you want to talk about Lenore? Let's give Lenore.
Yeah.
I mean, please.
I'd love to. Lenore Nolan Ryan is, I always call her a celebrity chef. I mean, she is an icon. Yeah, she just launched her book. Love is the main ingredient. And she's got not only delicious recipes in her book, but also life lessons and the stories that have inspired her, starting when she was just a little girl standing up, and stirring the pot with her mom when she was just little, a little kid. So all these things. So she's going to be there. She's very dynamic. And so she's our food sponsor. I don't know what we would do without her, because every year we struggle to make ends. I'm going to be honest. We struggle to make ends meet. And without Lenore, we would be probably serving kind bars to everyone. So yeah. I know. And when you see what she does, she's an artist. She's an artist. She's amazing. And I'm just so grateful to her. And I'm so happy that we can tie in Lenore. And
and she's going to have her books there too. And yeah, so it's just like we worked together on a tiny little event, and I just thought, oh my goodness, her food, the way that she displays it is, and she's
She
been at
lives
your
it.
house too. She's been at your house, and she did the whole
Oh, she does
charcuterie
all the
boards,
things, all the
everything.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really
So you're not
fantastic.
going to want to miss this too. So, and then of course we'll have coffee from Coffee with Kelly. Thank you, Kelly.
Money Merbler.
We couldn't say no to Kelly's coffee.
Oh, good. I'm a coffee fan. Great. Can't wait.
Anywhere I
Good
go,
to know.
we're hooked up.
Yes. So, okay. Well, shout out to Owl again. Thank you. I can't thank you enough, Jason. Can't thank you enough, Lana. Lana's worked with almost every speaker at TEDx Boca Raton, and
Lana.
she is dedicating, again, donating her
you.
time, and we're so, so grateful. And a shout out to Reese too, right? Reese worked with several of our speakers. So
Really helpful. Yep.
another TEDx coach we've worked with for many years. And Stephanie right here. Thank you, Steph. She's the producer for Owl
Thanks, Steph.
podcast.
Woo!
And she could be sitting here getting work done, and she's sitting here producing this. So we're so grateful. Without our community partners and amazing people like Kelly and Wendi and Eric and Jason and everyone. So thank you. And join us on Saturday, TEDx Boca Raton. Come at 1:30. Don't wait till the last minute. We're going to start sharp at 3:00 so we can get everyone on stage in and out. Thank you.
There.
Awesome.
Bye.